This is CBC Windsor News. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jennifer LaGrassa. Katarina is away. There's health and safety concerns at the Nexstar EV battery plant in Windsor. The company has received more than 100 orders from provincial inspectors. CBC's Emma Loop brings us this exclusive story.
Workers who've helped build Windsor's massive EV battery plant have faced repeated health and safety hazards. That's according to these documents obtained by CBC News.
The records show provincial inspectors have issued 10 stop work orders at the Nexstar Energy site and 110 orders overall. Nexstar has complied with the vast majority of the orders, according to the enforcement records, which we got through a Freedom of Information request.
CBC News has also obtained field visit reports from a source involved in the project. They show the Ministry of Labour has been on site at least 60 times since ground broke in 2022.
In an internal newsletter, a veteran steam fitter wrote that he's never seen so many visits to a work site in his career. He wrote that there were several reasonable cases to get the ministry involved, but also many that could have been handled internally. The documents show one of the most commonly flagged issues at the site was air quality, due to the number of diesel and gas-powered pieces of equipment that were used indoors. Other problems included missing washrooms and insufficient electrical safety.
Workers' frustrations have recently risen to the cabinet level of the provincial government. The local MPP says unions raised concerns during a meeting with Ontario's Labour Minister.
So the minister proposed some solutions for consideration by Labour to see if they would be amenable, which included a strengthened presence of Labour inspectors on site, just on a more regular basis.
Both the provincial and federal governments are giving Nexstar up to $15 billion in production subsidies, in addition to a combined $1 billion in capital investments. The health and safety concerns are the latest in a string of issues that Canadian workers and companies have raised around the project, which promises to create around 2,500 new jobs. In a statement, Nexstar said it is extremely proud of the progress on the more than 4 million square foot facility and that it's looking forward to starting battery cell production soon. The company also said it continues to meet or exceed appropriate industry standards and requirements. Emma Loop, CBC News, Windsor.
Organic waste pickup starts this week, and while some residents aren't too thrilled about it, it's already got the attention of some peckish critters. Jason Vio reports.
Starting this week in Windsor, Essex, organic waste will be picked up at the curbsides of homes across Windsor, Essex. And already some are reporting busted bins like this one in South Windsor, where the squirrels have chewed through the thick plastic of this locked bin. And the homeowner here is surprised because all that's really in here is some used cardboard and a sealed bag of birthday cake.
I walked right up to it, scared them away, and they didn't. The squirrel just looked at me and continued to eat. So I took a picture of him.
This crazy critter was caught red-handed, scratching and chewing not one, not two, but 3 holes in Lori Lachance's brand new green bin. It did all that within an hour and 15 minutes of her putting her first bag of organic waste inside. Even while I was there, I saw this squirrel munching on some bird feed. This hunger-driven behavior is what Lachance is worried about.
I just don't think it's going to work. I can't see it working unless these are made out of metal or of some sort. I don't want to throw any more food in it. It's just going to attract more rodents and critters and mutant squirrels.
Others are jumping on social media saying the rats are going to have a field day with these bins. Nope, no thank you. And I already have a huge rat and skunk problem in my neighborhood the city won't address. I certainly won't be adding another food source for them. And 2 other residents have posted these pictures on Facebook showing damage to their green bins as well. A few tips to help with the smell when you have organic waste sitting in your bin. Bring it to the curb every week, even if there's only a small amount inside. On hot summer days, keep the bin in a shaded area or a garage, and use cardboard to line the bin and help absorb the waste you're putting inside.
Some people will even go to the extreme of freezing their food waste.
The Essex-Windsor Solid Waste Authority says Lachance was doing everything right.
So I think that's unique to that area. And, that'll be something we'll be tracking too with, each household. Are we continuously repairing that same bin? Is there something more happening in that neighborhood that is beyond the green bin that we need more support on.
The cost for the program to buy a roadside green bin and the small one inside, plus delivering it, was about $80 per home. If a critter damages it, officials say that's not covered under the bin's warranty, but the bin will be repaired or replaced at the taxpayer's expense if you call the Essex Windsor Solid Waste Authority directly. Jason Vio, CBC News, Windsor.
The bi-weekly garbage collection did kick up a stink from parents with young children. They worried about having to hold on to dirty diapers for 2 weeks. But council today approved a diaper collection pilot. It would allow parents to call 311 and sign up for an additional pickup.
If you can imagine that residents have bi-weekly garbage collection, you can place your diapers out in the bi-weekly waste stream, and then the following week, we'll call it your off week, is when the collection would occur for diapers. We're going to ask residents to put them in clear plastic bags, translucent plastic bags. The diaper genie bags are pretty evident, and then put it in your hard-sided container.
The pilot pickup will start in January, but a second option does begin right away. Parents can drop diapers off at the garbage depot on North Service Road. That service is at no charge. While organic waste begins this week, changes to recycling will arrive in the new year. The new system will fall under provincial control. The company running the program provided new blue bins to all households, which had many residents wondering what to do with their expensive Herbie-Kirbies. Windsor's mayor voiced his frustration with the implementation.
Things are moving and changing across the province of Ontario with respect to recycling collection. It's being taken out of the hands of municipalities and put into the hands of a nonprofit organization called Circular Materials. They were responsible for the collection. They are responsible for those blue bins, and the city will not be responsible as of January the 1st, 2026. The problem that we're having, and what every councillor has identified, is that Circular Materials has been largely absent from responding to the concerns and the questions that residents have, which are really common sense questions. What do I do with the existing bin?
Now, the city says don't throw those Herbie-Kirbies away. You can still use them for regular garbage and yard waste. Colette Kennedy is here. Colette, it's Diwali, and we know that there's going to be some fireworks happening tonight, like at the Hindu temple in Windsor. So what's the weather looking like for that?
Yeah, and things are looking good in terms of we are in an unstable pattern, and we're going to be in this for a few days, but we're kind of the rose between two thorns, let's say, with the rain showers that are off to the east and those that are to the west. So we get into a situation with a trough here over the Great Lakes that will actually be seeing some lake effect. Not snow, but lake effect showers from time to time over the next few days. Doing pretty well, though, for this evening. And we will get into overnight some increasing cloudiness, 8 degrees. So that chance for precipitation is late overnight towards the early morning hours. And then again, from time to time tomorrow, I'd have the umbrella around. We should get some sunny breaks in there at times, too. A high of 15 and a little breezy with those winds out of the southwest.
Okay, thanks, Colette. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good.
Human remains have been found in northern Ontario. Police were searching the area as part of an investigation into the death of 37-year-old David Paveo. The Ontario Provincial Police said in a news release that its officers found the remains near a dirt road off the Trans-Canada Highway, about an hour east of Timmins. And last week, Windsor Police arrested 2 people, charging one with first-degree murder. They said that they're still looking for a third suspect. Paveo was last seen alive in August. Now, there's less than a few hours left to vote in the LaSalle by-election. There are 7 people vying for the empty council seat, which was held by Sue Desjardins. The longtime councillor died this spring, and residents can only vote online. That ends at 8 p.m. on Monday. The new councillor will be sworn in next week and hold office until November 2026. The shortage of family physicians is a concern across the country, including in Ontario, but a recent policy change to who can apply for the province's first round of residency matching is leaving some international medical graduates in limbo. They'll now be required to have finished at least 2 years of high school in Ontario to qualify. Shehan Desjardins reports.
We made a decision to move here to Canada, my family and I. It's our home right now.
Mohammed Issa was hoping Ontario would be their family home forever, but a change in the province's policy for international medical graduates like him sent him back to the drawing board.
Things have changed totally. Now I'm just I'm considering moving to a different province in order to be able to practice medicine here.
Matching in the first round of residency is already tough. Now, the requirements mean international medical graduates have to have at least 2 years of high school in Ontario to apply, leaving Isa only eligible for round 2.
There are very low possibilities that there are going to be any seats left after that.
A spokesperson for the Ontario Minister of Health says we know medical school residents are likely to practice in the region where they receive training, and this will ensure Ontario has a strong pipeline of world-class Ontario-trained doctors for years to come. But the change is sparking criticism from medical organizations across the country, saying it excludes qualified people keen to work.
We need to decrease barriers, reduce barriers, not put up more barriers.
Especially at a time when attracting more doctors is paramount.
The impact may be that those individuals affected will look at other practices, other provinces.
That's not ideal for those trying to recruit physicians back to Ontario. This event in Dublin last year was specifically for Canadian students studying medicine there. Before, the Ontario Physician Recruitment Alliance could essentially target any Canadian here, no matter where they went to high school. Now the pool has shrunk.
We would like to think that we have the best people that are applying for the jobs, not necessarily where they went to high school. It doesn't paint Ontario with a kind of it's not a positive lens.
But Isa says he would still apply in Ontario if the requirements changed back. For now, though, he's putting that application aside, starting over on a new one for family medicine in a different province. Chien Desjardins, CBC News, Toronto.
University of Windsor film student Jackson Moore died suddenly in June from an unknown medical condition. The 21-year-old had not quite completed a film project he was working on, so his close friends finished it to honor him. That film, entitled My Mother Margaret, will be screening at this year's Windsor International Film Festival. Windsor Morning host Amy Dodge spoke to 3 of Jackson's collaborators earlier today.
He just had such a positive impact on everybody that he met. And he was a great filmmaker, and he was always doing photo shoots and videos and trying to make movies. And he was just a really big inspiration to me. And I try and take everything that I learned from him and put it onto every film that I work on in the future.
He was working on this film called My Mother Margaret, and you were all working with him at that time. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you wanted to see this across the finish line.
Yeah, so he basically had it like 90% done, and then we brought it to Jet, who's sitting across from me, and Chris White, and Jet's dad, Nick Shields. They fixed up the visual effects and the color, made it able to be crossing that finish line of a finished film that he didn't get to fully finish himself.
It's about a girlfriend and a boyfriend, and she's bringing her boyfriend to like finally meet her parents. The whole film is surrounded by like this dinner that they have, and it goes very, very wrong. It doesn't go in the right direction for the boyfriend, and he kind of has to like sit at the table with like especially the mom, and it's like this very like tension building film.
And how would you classify this film?
I think the word dark comedy is a good one. It's thrilling. Jackson was really good at like 1 minute kind of scaring you and then another minute making you laugh. So I think that really showed off in this film. Definitely. What he was good at.
It is Diwali, the largest annual celebration for many South Asians. The festival is about lights, sweets, food, prayer, and family. At Windsor Hindu Temple off Lausanne Parkway, fireworks will erupt just after dark. But one Windsorite plans to extend Diwali into the weekend by putting a twist on the traditional holiday with a Bollywood-style dance club event this weekend.
We're bringing people together for a fantastic club night called #Lit. We believe it to be the ultimate Diwali party going down in Windsor on Saturday, October 25th at TQLA in downtown Windsor. And we're gonna have some of the biggest and most nostalgic Bollywood tracks, Punjabi music, and some top 40 to really bring everyone out in their festive outfits and to come like really party and enjoy it with their friends and again, the community.
The event is not just for South Asians. Everyone over 19 is welcome. He says it's the closest thing to experiencing Diwali outside of going to India. We're going to take a look outside. A wonderfully sunny day. We've got more news coming your way, so stay with us. Welcome back. The Liberal government says it's moving ahead with an old promise to create a new financial crimes agency targeting online scams. It's the latest announcement leading up to Prime Minister Mark Carney's first budget that's expected to have a significant deficit. As Ashley Burke reports, the opposition is already pushing back and putting forward its own demands.
We're starting the week strong,
To promote his upcoming budget, the finance minister vowing to crack down on fraudsters, giving an old Liberal promise new life.
This is going to be Canada's lead enforcement agency for combating financial crimes.
The new agency would focus on money laundering, organized crime, and online scams. A 2021 election promise revived.
What's taking so long?
Well, I'm taking that over now, so it's going to happen. That's the reality.
Ahead of next month's budget, the Liberals have made a series of spending announcements.
To get tough on bail.
But they say the Prime Minister's first budget will focus on austerity too.
We're going to spend less, we're going to invest more. Will they cap their inflationary deficits?
But to support the budget, the Conservatives have demands, including a deficit no bigger than $42 billion.
They can call it the government spending, government investment, the fluffy kitten fund. The result is the same. It comes out of the pockets of hard-working Canadians.
Deficit estimates vary. The latest from the C.D. Howe Institute suggesting it could be as high as $100 billion.
A large deficit number indicates that we can look forward to paying higher taxes, for every dollar of services we get from the federal government. And that's a recipe, among other things, for a cranky electorate.
The Bloc Québécois and NDP have a list of requests, too.
There's one thing that we control at the Bloc Québécois, and we control what we ask for.
We communicated very clearly that we would not be able to support a budget that takes an austerity approach.
The Prime Minister's cabinet has been asked to find what's being called ambitious savings, and we could see the first sign of those cuts in the budget on November 4th. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
For many Canadians, it's a rite of winter, heading south. But this year, some snowbirds are reporting there's a new element to the tradition, photographing and fingerprinting at the border. CBC's Sophia Harris has the story.
Snowbird Steve Blair says he had an unusual experience when crossing the U.S. land border this month for his winter stay.
He just said, we're going to take your picture and your fingerprints now, and it's going to be $30.
Were you surprised?
On the fingerprints and on the photo, yes, I was.
It's part of the new registration requirement for people visiting the U.S. for 30 days or longer. Air travelers are typically registered automatically, but many land travelers are not. So they must ensure they get the job done. U.S. Customs and Border Protection told CBC News Canadians who register at the border will be charged $30 U.S. each and will be photographed and fingerprinted to enhance border security and verify travelers' identities.
They have the full discretion on how they want to inspect and admit Canadians.
But this U.S. immigration lawyer says Canadian travelers have another option. If the border officer allows them to enter without registering, they can fill out this G-325 immigration form when in the U.S. to satisfy the requirement. There's no fee and no fingerprinting.
If you're savvy with a computer and you don't want to deal with the land port of entry or a CBP officer, don't be too intimidated by the G-325. It's not an overly cumbersome application.
He said, we're going to take a photo and then we'll do your fingerprints.
But not everyone may get a choice, this snowbird says. An officer registered her and her husband at the border and offered no alternatives.
And it wasn't like, would you like to have your photograph? Would you like to have that was nothing. It was just, this is the way it's done. And you just do it and you fall in line. We want to keep coming back every year, so we just did it, right?
For some snowbirds, the added scrutiny may serve as a deterrent if they were already on the fence about visiting the U.S. due to its trade war with Canada. Sophia Harris, CBC News, Toronto.
Many cities across India are doing justice to the other name for Diwali, the Festival of Lights. There's going to be fireworks and sparklers that are just one part of the celebration. Millions of homes are decked with traditional lamps, with people dressing up and hosting lavish feasts, friends and families exchanging gifts and sweets. We are going to have your full weather forecast coming up, so stay with us. The rain and wind during the Detroit Free Press Marathon this weekend didn't dampen the spirit. Thousands came out to cheer and run. I was one of them crossing the finish line, and you might recognize that volunteer. It's the CBC's Jacob Barker giving me my medal. A big thank you to all the volunteers who make this event happen, and a shout out to one of them from Amherstburg. That's Kelly Toffelmeyer right in the middle, who stopped me at the expo to wish me luck. Colette, I've got a new piece of jewelry now.
I love it. I'm so happy for you and proud of you.
Thank you.
That is an amazing accomplishment. So
Thank
congratulations.
You. Thanks so much. Thanks.
Yeah, a nice piece of hardware there too. Okay, let's talk about what's going on. I mean, a beautiful day, temperatures kind of back closer to seasonal, right? But having all of that sunshine, just a little breezy at times. And here we sit essentially where our daytime high has been, 15 degrees, 14 Chatham, Kent, Sarnia at 14 there as well. And you can see that wind flow. In many cases, it's more of a west or northwesterly component, and then we're just getting flipped around here in Windsor. But we've had some gusty winds at times too to contend with, and you know, we're between a couple of systems, but we do have a trough, an upper trough, and as that develops and moves across the Great Lakes, it does tend to lead, I know it's maybe hard to believe at the moment with the nice skies, but it does tend to lead to some unsettled weather. And what that pattern begins to look like is that, yes, you get some clear conditions at times, and so during the daylight hours you get some sunshine in there, but then clouds will rotate in, you get into some showers. We'll be seeing that tomorrow for the early part of the day, and then that'll push through by midday. We should be getting into some sun coming back, but then that lends towards the instability, and then the next round is coming through. So it's essentially this kind of a situation where you just need to be prepared that there could be some wet weather from time to time, even though you may need your sunglasses as well. You just want to have that umbrella around, and generally they will be lighter in nature as they rotate through. But this is into Wednesday, and I'll tell you, we'll keep this kind of pattern all the way into Thursday before we should break out of it, and then we can kind of count on the sun when we get it a little bit more. Rainfall accumulations, not huge, probably 5 to up to maybe 20 millimeters in some spots locally. Your overnight temperatures sliding. We'll probably hit down to about 8 degrees by around 7 a.m. tomorrow, and then 15. I know it looks like rain all day, every day, and as I just explained, it's not that bad. There'll be some sun in there too, Jennifer.
Okay, thanks Colette, and thanks everyone for watching. Have a good night.